Good morning, people. What's going on today? I have replaced my turnbuckle standing rigging. I can't talk. Standing rigging turnbuckles. These are the old. I'm assuming these are probably original to the boat. This is somebody's additional rigging they put on the boat. Doesn't even match. I don't even. That's galvanized. These are stainless. Yeah, these are pretty nice, but they've seen their share of abuse. Look at that. Somebody's just beating the hell out of that thing, trying to tighten it. And these are also chewed up. This one chewed up and also bent up. And then the shackle at the top here, look at the twist in that thing. Isn't that beautiful? And that's probably when the mast got laid over and the wires pulled down on it and twisted the hell out of it. This one's a little funky as well. It's got some malformation in it. This one's got a twist in it. Look at that. That's a big twist. So since I've got the mast down and I've got the time, I'm waiting for I'm waiting for my new rigging, my new wire to show up. I went ahead and ordered some of those, and wow, Amazon Prime. They're here the next day. I mean, it's amazing. And of sailboat parts in importance, this is maybe one of the very most important parts of the boat. This is what keeps your mast standing correctly and from falling over or being ripped off the boat in a gale force wind. They're adjustable. You can tighten them. You can loosen them. You want to get them equally all the way around the boat. The same, I say that, the same tension. I know for sure side to side we want the same tension. I'm going to have to do a little research on the front and back tension of the mast. I imagine they're similar. Sometimes that backstay has a little more force in it to give a little bend to the top of the mast. But these are shiny, they're pretty, and they're just built better. So instead of the U-shape piece that is secondary, these are one piece that go right in to the turnbuckle shaft, and you spin it. You know, I can loosen this nut, and I can loosen the nut up here, spin this, and it will loosen. Very cool. They spin independently. I could tighten one side or the other if I wanted to, or I could tighten evenly. Evenly is ideal. They don't lay over when the mast goes down, so we're not bending anything. Those weren't really meant. The other ones, they were the U-shackle and then the connection point, and by these laying over all the way, it was bending them. And that's not cool. That's weakening the metal. Can take a look at those again. So, totally different hookup, see? And in my opinion, kind of another failure point. And that's obvious by seeing the deformation of the stainless. And that's not light metal. This is heavy gauge stainless steel. And so for those to bend like that, that's crazy. Which tells me when I lower the mast and when I raise the mast next time, we're going to be really aware of what is happening here on both sides of the boat, that they are coming up and standing correctly. They're not being, torqued over or anything. They're not moving that chain plate. It bothers me a little bit that chain plate moves like that. Maybe that's normal. Certainly it's not leaking. This is the chain plate, this tab that comes up, and it runs down inside the boat. A big piece of metal, and these bolts go through it. And that's what's effectively allowing me to put tension on these wires, pulling the mast down to the deck, flexing the boat like this to hold that mast in place. Inside the boat, there's a beam that goes from the top of the deck down to the keel. and that's the mast step, and the mast rests on that, and that's how a stepped mast is kept. A keel mounted mast goes all the way through the top of the boat down to the bottom of the boat and is tied into the keel. Ideally better for an ocean going vessel or even a coastal vessel, but for a trailer sailor like this where you need to put the mast up and down at will, we can't really do that without a lot of trouble. So that's what I'm doing today. I got a new roll of the adhesive scratchy tape. If you need any, let me know, because I have overkill, but that's how it comes. And it's gray, which is kind of cool instead of black. So I'm going to get my razor blade and my goof off out. I'm going to work on these and take them off and replace them with a cleaner, better look. Something better cut out now that I have so much of it. So it's been rainy overnight and this morning. I think my tarp's caught quite a bit of water. I'm gonna have to clean it off. That's what's going on. It's hot. It's not like it was 5 days ago hot. I thought I was gonna die out here. But it's hot. It's humid. I'm sweating and I'm directly in the sun. The shirt made no more sense because I'd sweat through it. But let's look at what I've done. So I think I was talking about the scratchy stuff that came in the mail. I got a whole roll of this, huge roll. So I've been really creative. Some of you are gonna be like, oh my God, it's terrible, I hate it. You purists. Listen, it's my boat. I'm 52 years old, and after transplant, I'm a little bit wobbly. I lost an enormous amount of muscle mass over about 3 years, and I'm not as sure-footed as I used to be, that's for sure. So this is going to help me, and I also am married to a very klutzy woman that I don't want to see fall overboard. So let's take a look at what I've done. I replaced the ugliness with these amazing stripes. Look at that, that's so cool. And instead of an oval there, it's a whole, I did the whole pad. So look at that. You could get your entire foot on there, and that's a 13 shoe. I get my entire foot on non-skid, and I can either go up or I can go down to the non-skid, depending on which way I'm headed. If I'm working the mast, I'm probably going this way. I'm going up. So this whole strip got it. This whole strip got it. A pad there on the other side. And then when you're boarding the boat from the dock, why not have a pad there? You know, most people will probably go from dock and step to the top of this or over onto the non-skid seat. People with little legs, that's a big step. And for my wife at 5'3", I know she will appreciate being able to step on this non-skid pad, steady herself, and then second foot onto the seat. Done that on both sides, because you never know which side of the dock you're going to be moored on. And then the back of the boat. You know, this is where you come up. If you're using the swim ladder, which is here, and you're getting out of the water, and I tell you, getting up this ladder out of the water, it's kind of a challenge. Certainly those rungs hurt your feet. I'm going to try and rethink that. If I can find a wooden piece that I can attach to that, would be fantastic for the tender-footed like myself. But this is going to be the first place you're going to step, and it's not even non-skid. So imagine doing the splits on the rail, foot on the ladder, foot on the top of the deck here, and splitting. Sounds horrific and dangerous. You know, you could fall backwards and hit the rudder. You could fall backwards and hit the motor. You know, your head could hit the motor. So yeah, nice big fat wide piece of non-skid makes sense, you know. And I just feel like that makes the boat enormously safer, and it looks nice. I really like the gray, you know. And if I was going to do some painting on this boat, I might consider doing the non-skid tan in gray. You know, I know it gets hotter because it's a darker color, And certainly in the cockpit, I might reconsider that because I don't want the cockpit gray because it already gets hot in here. But if I had a real nice bimini over the top, I might do it. Gray would be kind of cool all across the boat. So, pretty happy with that project. I'm running out of steam. I've been considering giving the teak a little sand and another coat, but I'm hot. I got to get off the boat, I think. I got to get out of the sun. And I do need to bring up a tape measure because I do want to put a bimini on the boat to keep myself out of the shade. So that's all that's going to probably happen today. Okay, last little video on the sticky stuff for the day. I went and did the swim ladder. Thought that'd be a really good idea. I know I talked about maybe some wood on the rungs, but until that day comes. I did the places that you will step to climb into the boat, and you won't slip off of there. And I even did the upper side of the top one. This is the top rung when the thing is folded down. And if for whatever reason you needed to step overboard to do something and put a foot here when the ladder is stowed, it wouldn't be slippery. Or in a man overboard situation, you've recovered somebody on the side of the boat and you're leading them to the back to use the ladder to climb on. That's a nice grip. You're not gonna miss that, and slide off of it. It's gripped on both sides, upper and lower. So that's the finishing touches on the Grippy Grip. New registration numbers just came in, and they look sick. They look so good. What an amazing contrast. I love it. That makes that bow just kind of come alive. Love, love, love. Found another product, a blue roll of tape. It's a 1-inch, kind of a powder blue, robin's egg blue maybe, I don't know. That ought to be here in a couple days, and then we're going to stripe the rest of the boat. That blue pinstripe that I have on order is taking forever to get here. And after going back and looking at it and reading some of the reviews, some of the people are like, man, the glue on this stuff sucks. So I was a little worried that it might not work very well. And I decided to order this other stuff. It's the same product from the same company as the green tape I've used. So I'm familiar with it, and it'll lay up real good. And if the blue pinstripe shows up and it is worth using, maybe I'll throw it on as a bottom water line or a top beauty line. I don't know. We'll look at it and figure it out. It'd be cool to stripe the rudder right here and a little blue strip down the green, and a little accent. But boat's coming together. I think it's here in my pocket. My wire through hole showed up. So this is an empointment, I guess you would call on the deck, or a deck penetration. My favorite word. It's a cable seal. So we can drill a small hole in the deck. This goes on over it, 5,200 down, and then you can feed the wire through this. This is a rubber material here, and it seals around the wire, keeping the water out. And that's how I'm going to get my my spreader lights wire down into the boat. Everything's already run. Right now the wire is just going through the hatch. So I'll have to just install this, push the wire through the little rubber grommet there, and twist them up together. And that job be done. That'll take a few minutes. So there's not a lot else I have planned on the boat today. It's really a matter of time and gathering more money. I want to put the Papa's patina on the top of the boat really bad, but it's going to be between $250 and $300 for that whole patina. Well, I guess it's a clear hard coat system. I think it'll look amazing. It's going to really set the boat off and make it really pop and look new. I'm waiting for my my stay wire to show up. so I can put that on. The big reveal is on the way from Etsy. I don't know that it's, I mean, they marked it as shipped, but there's no carrier that has the actual package yet. So I think it's still pre-transit. And I'm not going to reveal what that is yet, but it's going to be so cool and so unique to this boat. And I hope it's something that other boaters see and they're like, man, I want one of those. So can't wait to reveal that. What else? That's all I can think of right now. That's really just the last couple of things to do to get this boat on the water. You know, I'm going to change out my running rigging, but probably not till next year. There's no sense of doing it and then having your rigging on the boat for a winter. Of course, when I winterize the boat, I'll pull the running rigging off anyway, but you know, why rig a boat with new rope just to use it for like 2 months? I will likely put on my new halyard because that's an addition to the rigging that is currently there. I ordered a little pennant flag, little triangle flag for my the little black, you can barely see it, but it's hiding behind this ladder here. There's a little black piece of what's it called, paracord on a little pulley, and that's my flag. I'm stumbling for words today, aren't I? That's my little flag. God, I don't even know what you call that. It's where you put your flags. So anyway, it's a was it white? I can't remember if I got white or blue. Now that I think about it, I think I got blue, but it's got the Donate Lifeboat logo on it, and that'll look super cool. And I'll fly it on there, and then of course Lake Perry Marina, they have their own little pennant flag, and I can put that up. And then if we ever race or run a regatta, we'll put up whatever the race flag is. That'll be cool. More than anything in the entire world, I wish I could buy a new mainsail. They're so expensive. If I could buy a mainsail with my logo on it, man, like, job done. I win. I won. Game over. Boat's amazing. Maybe next year. You know, maybe for my birthday next year, Susan will donate to get me a new mainsail with my Donate Lifeboat on it. That'd be sick. The jib's in great shape. You know, I've got a good jib. It certainly would be nice to have a match set for the boat. And, you know, this boat, I wouldn't have to buy sails again, probably for 10 years, I would imagine. They'd last longer than I will have the boat. Anyway, that's what I'm doing today. It's nice and cool out today. It's only going to be in the mid-80s. The humidity's not bad. I feel pretty good, other than my plantar fasciitis is flaring up a little bit. I've been doing these stretches, and I got some orthotics in my shoe, and never realized that could be so painful. And I'm sure it's from working on the boat. But, you know, I think it started when I was baking all the sourdough, and I was wearing those stupid shoes. They're kind of like a Croc, but they're not a Croc. It's a kitchen shoe, and they're made of foam. They're really comfortable, but zero arch support. And I think that trashed my foot. And then working on the boat 10 hours a day on my feet has aggravated everything. But anyway, I'm rambling again. I'll talk to you later. All right. I thought you might like to see what's going on. So I'm installing my through hole for the wire for the down lights on my spreaders, my deck lights. I've applied 5200 underneath, which is a marine sealant. There's a rubber gasket that's on top of that, and then the device itself, and then it's screwed down in 4 places. My wire will now, well, let's go ahead and clean up some of this loose 5200, just like that. And that's honestly about all I see. Looks pretty good. So now wire goes through the top. We can go ahead and run it down in through the hole. It's going to be a little easier. Put a little spit on that. Wow, it was going through there earlier real easy. I wonder if it's actually shrunk a little bit. There we go. Got her through. Pull a bunch of excess through there. Run that through the hole in the deck. And bingo, there goes the plug. And there's 5200 under the plug. And then comes our top plate. Let's match it up with our screw holes. There we go. No, I didn't quite get it matched up. Where are you? There they are. And I don't know why that dingbats, they sent this kit with Allen wrench heads, which just seems, I don't know, stupid, unnecessary complication. So let's find, oh, sorry, you fell over. Let's find the correct Allen head. And it looks like it's gonna maybe be that one. That's too big. And of course that's the smallest one I have. Man, how stupid. I don't think I have my Allen wrenches in the bag. It's the worst thing about working on the boat. I've already been down twice now to go get other things. You always forget to bring up something. Okay, I'm gonna run down and go get those Allen wrenches. This is the not so glorious part of the job. Sanding the companionway with some 200 grit so I can varnish it again. I bet it's going to take 3 coats, but I really want to get this back to looking really sharp. There's an enormous amount of texture here, which means the soft, pithy part of the wood has essentially eroded away over years of neglect. So as we put the varnish on, you kind of build the low spots up, and we sand down the high spots and put more on, and then sand it down again and then put more on. Do it until you achieve a nice smooth surface. And there's just not a lot of easy way to do this other than taking the board off completely, and that sometimes just presents more problems than making it any easier. These are bolted from the backside, and they're impossible to get to pretty much without tearing interior apart. So I'd just rather work a little harder and do it by hand. But yeah, I could take that off and I could take it into the shop, and I could put it on a machine and have it knocked out and buttery smooth within a matter of minutes. But where's the fun and effort in that, right? No, truthfully, there's not a lot of wood on this boat. I'm kind of thankful for that. And if there was a lot more, that's exactly what we would do. We would take it all off and refinish it all at once, get it perfect, and then just reattach it. I think that's going to be pretty good for this round. It's already feeling smoother. So get another coat of varnish on that. We'll clean it, get it dust free, and revarnish it. I've already done the hatch. Pretty smooth already. This piece of wood, I don't think it's original to the boat. I think somebody added this. I'm not even completely convinced that the entire hatchway there is original to the boat. I mean, it looks good, but if you look close, you know, it looks like, oh, that's a one coat finish. And we want it to look real nice. I mean, this is where you enter the cabin of the boat. And I'll do the companionway here. I'll do the bilge way. I'll do the handles for sure, because they really were rough. They almost to the point of needing replacement. I won't do these strips. I think they're going to end up replaced. And the car slider track, it's just going to get recoated. I'm not going to sand it. There's really no good way to get to that. And talk about a pain to remove. There's like 18 screws down this thing, and they penetrate the hull. Every one of them is bedded. Lot of leaky points, so we're going to leave it just the way it is. We'll just pack on the varnish. You don't see much of that wood anyway. And same thing goes for my Traveler. You know, I'll probably sand this front edge, because you see that, and then slap another coat on it. But as far as redoing the thing, I mean, look at it. It's screw hole, screw hole, screw hole, screw, 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 screw. I mean, all the way down. So it'd be easier just to replace the thing entirely. I found one on Marketplace that was gorgeous. It was just like this, but then had the stainless steel mounts that brought it up, I don't know, 6-8 inches. And, you know, to put it on top of the boat, which would look amazing and also act a little bit as a boom vang, but then I couldn't use my pop-up, which would not be cool. Or you could potentially put it on the back of the boat, but my bait boxes are in the way, so it won't go either. I've seen them mounted on the back of the seat here, where they go across from seat to seat. You know, that would work okay. You know, the cab's cockpit area is already pretty tight, so we just stick with what we got. So this is what I'm going to be doing for the next, I don't know, hour. And if I've got time, I'll get a coat on before I leave. I'm going to go see my daughter today in Kansas City. UPS just arrived with my my stay cable. Excited about that. My local hardware store says they have a swaging tool for rent, which is fantastic. Buying one of those is about $190, I think I saw on Amazon. And it's not like I'm going to be swaging a lot of things. It'll never pay for itself. Even though I do love to own tools, I'll look for excuses to buy them. Sorry. So anyway, I'm going to not probably have time to do my swaging and get my cable up today. Unfortunately, I'd really like to. I've got a photo shoot also later in Kansas City, downtown, at this swanky bar. And unfortunately, I probably won't be home till this evening. Tomorrow's Thursday, and I'm going sailing with Paul, my instructor. We're going to do a little test cruise on his, what is it? I think it's a Hunter 32 he's got, his big boat. We're going to sail together in the Commodore's Cup Regatta in a couple of weeks. And so we're going to go out and do a little test sail and, work on communication skills. I get to get familiar with the boat and the working rigging. That'll be fun. Going to go up to Lake Perry about 11 tomorrow. Sail for a few hours, and then I've got a photo shoot up around Lake Perry, actually. Some drone work for a gal I know. Trying to sell some property. And then I'll come home and edit, and of course by then it'll be close to the end of the day. I'm not sure what's going on Friday. Maybe Friday I can get my standing rigging worked out. That'd be cool. And then Saturday and Sunday I'm sailing for ASA 102, which really snuck up on me. It came quick. And hopefully by the end of this weekend, I will be ASA 102 certified. The finer tuning and finer points of controlling sailing and rigging, making me a better sailor. That looks pretty good. She lays there like a dead dog, squished by a car. Pip, come on! She's so goofy. Come on, come inside. It's hot.